Good evening, everybody. It's March 16, 2025 on Sunday evening, and I'm going to read some subscriber comments because I know that not everybody gets an opportunity to read the subscriber comments or even view all of the videos that I post. So I'm going to select a few that I think are worth repeating here. But also, I wanted to thank the person who donated some cat food and some lid covers. Just so you know that all of our lid covers have been sliced by the criminals. It doesn't matter if I have them inside my house or inside the cat's building. They're destroyed either way. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it because they keep ruining them. And I posted in the community page, the main page under posts, I recently posted some photos of the patterns of vandalism here. Now, somebody commented that, well, that doesn't look like it's new. Well, it wasn't new. Not all of what I'm showing is new. I'm basically showing a pattern that's taken place here. Some of these cutouts were 6, 8, 9 months ago. One of them was at least a year ago, and one was more recent. So I believe there are 4 or 5 there. And just for the record, the former owner, Travis Sparks, built all of these buildings except for the house that I'm living in, the cat's building, and my shed, and one of the chicken coops. Everybody who has ever seen or been in any of his buildings has commented on how well he built everything. I even had 2 of the buildings torn down, and each person said it was so difficult to take the buildings down because he nailed everything in properly. He used the best wood, and he did a great job for somebody who did not do this for a living. So the fact that the buildings are even falling apart, or that there are holes being drilled in them or squares being cut out of them, that's not something Travis Sparks would have done. That's being done to the buildings, slowly deteriorating them. It's called Zersetzung. And we'll get into the reasons why it's called Zersetzung, because the criminals that are using these tactics, these are East German Stasi tactics. Communism. Warring against women, especially if they're not married. But we're going to get into that. But please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. I also wanted to wish everybody happy St. Patrick's Day in advance. It's tomorrow. In case you celebrate, I know that they're usually in New York City. There's usually a St. Patrick's Day parade, and one of which that I used to attend because it was so much fun. But so give a shout out to all those people that celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So, and also, again, thank you so much for donating to my nonprofit cat rescue, Freya's Cat Rescue. We are a Chewy.com partner. As a Chewy.com partner, well, we've been purchasing cat food and bird food and all kinds of food and supplies for the cats for a long time. And we have what's called a wish list, and on the wish list we have a lot of the items that we utilize or would like to have. So anybody that wants to buy anything for the cat rescue, there's a wish list there that you can choose from, and on the wish list there are gift cards. And the way the gift cards work is you purchase a gift card, they'll send us a notification, and then they send us a code that's attached to the gift card so that we can apply it to some of our future purchases. And sometimes, in some instances, Chewy already applies the gift card to our account, which is really cool. And then there are sometimes when people purchase items, they do so anonymously. And I don't know if the person who sent us these items did so anonymously, but I don't know who it was. So if you want to make yourself known, you can email me at either freyascatrescue@gmail.com or alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, especially since we have 4 new kittens and we've got a couple of new cats on the property that are not mine, but they're hungry. So, yeah, so there are patterns of vandalism on the property. And I will be from now on posting the patterns of vandalism so that you can see what I'm referring to. There is no plausible deniability. So here we go. A comment on the video that I posted, targeting pine tree in upper field, tree stump vandalized. Again, real estate mobbing. One person responds, I have never in my life seen that kind of horrible damage done to a tree. As I bought and sold properties, always at a financial loss, to escape the targeting, though I had no clue that was what was happening, I spent a lot of time outdoors appreciating nature. Never, not once, did I ever see such a travesty as your poor tree. Karma will come. Well, thank you so much, Deborah. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that you are outside in nature and that you can tell the difference between something that is done to the tree and something that may happen naturally. And that's not the first tree. That's only the first tree that you have seen, because I have posted videos of other trees that have been sabotaged here and damaged here. So it is a travesty, because these trees have lived a long time. And you cannot replace a 50, 100-year-old tree after it's taken down. It takes a long time for a tree to grow. And those trees support the landscape. They beautify the landscape. They're majestic trees. And again, it's not the first one. There are at least a dozen that they have done that to. In fact, when I first moved here, the first tree they took down on me was a gorgeous walnut tree. Just completely out of nowhere, fell over and hit one of my buildings. Surprise, surprise, I just moved here. Right? Meanwhile, Travis lived here for 30 years, and none of his trees fell down. So thank you so much for that comment. I appreciate it. And for anybody that hasn't seen that video about what they did to the pine tree, feel free to check it out. And now one person left a comment on my video, The Octopus Grew More Tentacles, the National Citizens Academy 501c3 nonprofit. She posted a comment. Comment disappeared. Okay, comment just disappeared. And there are several comments have disappeared. My comments have disappeared. So now this is in response to a video that someone sent to me. It was in here is where the waste really is. The Department of Defense funnels $450 billion of taxpayer dollars each year to private military contractors. Let me repeat that. The Department of Defense, DOD, funnels $450 billion in taxpayer dollars every year to private military contractors. So I responded to this person. I said, I'm on the newsletter, so I receive the daily DOD, Department of Defense contracts. So I sent this individual one of these newsletters, and I receive those newsletters every day. And every day, millions and billions of dollars are being doled out every which way imaginable, every day. And I've been on this mailing list at least 3 years. At least. I may have even been on the newsletter since New Jersey. It's absolutely a travesty. So then I receive a response after I sent the subscriber the newsletter. Hi, Lorraine, first point. I accessed the DOD newsletter you sent, and I read it. And yet I feel like I still don't know what they're doing specifically with all those $450 billion to weapons contractors and corporations. This is a total lack of transparency to my mind about what each contract entails. They'd argue that it's quote unquote national security to be kept hidden in secret. But those securities, what securities are they actually talking about? Who are they accountable to? The second part, look at the geography of these companies. It almost looks like a voting, buying, welfare program. The way these contractors are littered throughout different states. The more the DoD funnels money into these companies, the more jobs are created in almost every state. It's hard to fight for cutting the DoD budget if it means job losses across the board. Third point, I replied to your message about being horrified that your corrupt judge executive is also a pastor. My message was banned on YouTube, so I reposted it for him. The comment was, it is, but at the same time, I wouldn't expect much less. My own gang stalkers are definitely Christian nationalists. Their position is that the only law they have to adhere to is biblical law, and they view us as violating that biblical law, which gives them, in their sick minds, a basis for waging their holy war against us, but through gang stalking. They don't have to follow local laws in their thinking because their religious text gives them blank check against their enemies. I'm convinced that even the Satanists are Christian Satanists, and then the Freemasons are Christian Freemasons. They have their resources, network, and zealotry to wage wars against single women like you and very strong political enemies like me, meaning him, a left-winger. Fourth, here's a must-see video about NATO's cognitive warfare. Stay strong. And then there was another, I sent a response to that, that I reposted his comment. And then he says, Lorraine, I hope we can make some progress of freeing Jessica. Jessica has been Baker acted. She's being held against her will in the DCH hospital in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I can't get into too many more details. She's been there more than 7 months. He says, I will absolutely sign any petition dedicated to her immediate release. Well, we're working on that. I can't give you the details now. There's a national advocacy group that does only this, and they're going to advocate on her behalf. She should never have been locked up and drugged against her will. Complete medical malpractice. Well, yeah, it's worse than medical malpractice. It's psychiatric fraud. It's an absolute horror show. Frequently, like when we go through being trapped in a horror film, a creepy stalker psychopath watching us while telling us that it's for our own good, telling us that they're God, or acting like that they are God, conspiring against us while telling us it's for spiritual salvation, torturing us and telling us not to react to it. Remember they told you to have a husband? Well, yes, our former sheriff, Paul Hayes, and I'll just repeat it for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Lorraine. I moved from Manalapan, New Jersey, a home I lived in for 30 years as the original owner, and moved to rural Kentucky, less than 800 people in this town. Actually, there were 803 when I moved here, but the last time I looked, there were 793. So some people are just being offed or, leaving. I'm going to be next on the list. I'm going to be leaving, not offed. Well, this sheriff, when I moved here, he first recommended that I get a weapon. And he said I really should get a dog and get a run and all that stuff. And then another time I saw him, he said, you need to get yourself a husband. Really? Thanks for the recommendation. So this subscriber is saying, remember how they told you to get a husband? What doctrine believes women are property of men? Christian extremists. the patriarchy, Christian nationalists. It supposedly will only stop if we go through their ritualistic demands, and for me, meaning him, they want me to conform to their spirituality politics, telling us we deserve this or that. It is there to make us stronger or purer. Or we have chosen, the latest psycho walking towards me on the street with a young woman wearing a skirt with a cross on it saying, chosen one. That's her lingo. I photographed the stalker, but my camera quality messed up. While I did everything, it went blurry. The same was when I tried to photograph the young man walking towards me whose shirt said, sell your soul, quote unquote. Well, I just want to comment, and I didn't mention this in a reply because I don't think I replied to this message yet, but I will now. When I lived in Manalapan, New Jersey, I was walking into the post office, and a woman was walking out of the post office with a t-shirt that says chosen one on it. And I had just had a conversation the day before about chosen people. Okay. So, and it was that woman that actually stole the SD card in my dash cam. In just like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes flat, I went into my post office box, opened it, grabbed, closed it, went back, SD card, gone. The chosen one stole it. It's a certain subset of the so-called Christians, Christian nationalists that are behind it all, at least for me. They induct me into the torture program, and then they try to make themselves the solution for the problem they create. Pray, allow God into your life, blah, blah, blah. If you were to go to your March 8 video, we can see that mobbing has infiltrated the church for a while now. I think they're the ones, Christian male nationalists and their dutiful wives, driving this. But through careful misdirection, they keep people looking elsewhere. Even the more moderate Christians are fair game for them. But I guess all of our programs are different. Perhaps a different cult association is driving yours. It seems like the Freemasons are a common thread. Freemasons require belief in one God for entry into their little club. Hence why so many Christian and Freemasons, or Freemasons and Christians, as it were. So now, I haven't mentioned this much, but I will now. Because down the block, all the way at the end, is something called the Christian Appalachian Project. Look it up. I wasn't planning on going into it tonight, but I have. And they're literally not on the up and up. In fact, I think somebody wrote a complaint about them a few years ago, that they weren't complying with certain things. So now that's one portion, but they also have a beautiful camp. The camp's only open a couple of months out of the year, so what the hell is going on there the 9-10 other months? Maybe that's where they have their gang stalking little meetings. Although, you know, there are 3 Freemasonic lodges around here. I'm sure they've got meetings. In fact, I know they have meetings because they're posted online. I don't know if they're gang stalking meetings. They're just Masonic meetings, lodge meetings, member meetings, whatever meetings they are. But yet, so yes, we have the Christian Appalachian Project. That's what it's called. Not too far from here, near the camp. I guess they embody the camp. But the Christian Appalachian Project, I believe, is somewhat separate and distinct from the actual camp, although they work together to funnel money. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. It would be a deeper dive than what I'm going to say now, and I'm just going to get myself in a hell lot more trouble than I already am. But anyway, yeah, so I believe that you're onto something. And I have never considered it. Other than that, I know that that group down the block is also participating. Not everyone, but they are participating, and they have been participating since the day I moved here. You want to know how I know? I'll tell you how I know. Because I met, now I don't remember the job title. Maybe it was a director. But one of the vehicles stopped, said hello, hi, welcome. I said hi, welcome. And they said, oh, yeah, we're at the Christian Appalachian Project down the block. I said, oh, I've never been down there, blah, blah, blah. I said, do you happen to know of somebody that can install a mailbox for me? Because Travis Sparks did not have a mailbox on his property. He had like a box or something across the street. And there was nothing here. So he gave me the name of somebody that was a worker that worked for them. And that worker worked here for a while. He was a really nice guy, but he was slow. He was a he was a snail. He was just a very slow person, very deliberate and stuff. But then what happened was, it was very bizarre. And this has happened to a couple of people that have worked here for a while. And then suddenly, they tell me that they're not able to work here anymore. And they look scared to shit. That's all I can say. They look scared out of their minds. This one was scared, and he almost stuttered, telling me about it. It was bizarre. So that's how you know that everybody gets infiltrated to a certain degree. You don't know when it's going to be. I think they allow people to work here for a while, hoping that they gain some information about me and what the work is being done on the property, because who else could tell them about what I'm doing here, rather, other than a worker, right? A worker knows the intimate details of whatever work they're doing on the property, can report back to these criminals because they've worked here, they've been paid. So yeah, so getting back to the guy, so there was this guy that I hired, but the guy in the car took my phone number. I said, if you could text me your phone number so I have it. He never texted me his phone number. Never. So, never. So, yes, so I do believe that the Christian, what do you say here? Christian and nationalists may be behind it. That's certainly a possibility. Now, there was another comment that I received. And it was really interesting. It was on real estate mobbing. It was the post on my community page. But the individual either removed the comment themselves, or they too removed it. But I did see it. But I can't find it again, because I believe they deleted it. I can't find it there. These are not the exact words, but the individual said, I have watched some of your videos, and I have seen some of the vehicles with only one headlight. And this person says, that is for certain that you are under surveillance, and it is for certain that they're working with law enforcement. And that comment disappeared. It was a little bit longer than that. It was about having viewed several of my videos. This is a local person. This is not somebody out of the blue. This is somebody that lives around here. Somebody that was brought to my channel. Viewed the videos, saw the one headlight, because there are people that are in on it. They know what it means. I actually only learned about the one headlight when I moved here. Actually, maybe within the last year. I used to see it in New Jersey. I just figured, a lot of people, they're going to get tickets. It didn't occur to me. I had no frame of reference for it. So yeah, so this individual said, well, it clearly demonstrates that you're under surveillance. And it also demonstrates that those people driving those one headlight cars are working with law enforcement. And that one, they mentioned also something about that one of the headlights will flash in a different color. It's weaponized. And I have witnessed that with a pickup truck driven by my neighbor's son. It's like a brownish, tawny, I don't know, beige pickup truck. Drove past me, no lights on. And then just as they moved past me, turned on a back headlight that suddenly turned blue. And it flashed at me. That's what I saw. So I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but it was the first time I saw something like that during the day. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. There are some moral and ethic people that live around here. They know what's going on, and they're not afraid to speak out about it. But I appreciate that. I wish I still had the message. It's not there because other people would, I'm sure, have liked to have viewed that, but that's okay. I did read it, and I don't know all the details of what you wrote, all the nuances, but that was the gist of it. So anyway, I'm going to sign off here. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you enjoyed those comments, and thank you, whomever it was that donated the cat food to Freya's Cat Rescue. Very much appreciated, and I'm going to sign off for now.